Welcome Average Joe Nation from around the globe. Props to you for staying up to date and keeping in the know. Fantasy football, man, very soon you'll reign. The knowledge that these three guys have, man, it is insane. Fantasy football talk, hateful eight, they wear the crown. Hold it down, Pickle, Blackburn, and Trimboli, hold it down. Pulling up to LB Design Studio, we're getting loud. Season 2, headphones on, red light go, break it down.
Welcome back to the Hateful Eight Fantasy Football Podcast with your host. I'm Pickle, and with me as always, Blackburn.
What up?
And Trimboli.
What it do?
All right, this episode we discuss all of the Week 1 games, minus obviously the Thursday night game, but we get your lineups ready for Week 1. So make sure you listen to the whole show as we will be going through each game, and we'll be discussing all of them.
Every single player.
No, not every single player. We'd be here forever. But anyways, so as always, don't forget to follow the show's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. Now on to the Week 1, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Weekly starts and sits, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
All right. The good, the bad, and the ugly, presented by StatRoute. Dominate your league. Get the stats used by the pros. Any stat, any player, any team. Available in under 5 seconds. Head over to statroute.com. And make sure you're checking that out because I know that it has gone officially live. So just saying, sign up, get yourself signed up for the free trial, test it out, and then use it for your whole season. So for Week 1, we've got several games we're going to talk about as we're talking about all of them minus the Thursday game. But we decided to split them up, and so that way we could each kind of take a couple games and kind of explain what we're looking at for the good, the bad, and the ugly. So Blackburn, you've got primarily the 1 o'clock games, correct? Or is that Trimboli?
No, he does.
Trimboli, you've got the 1 o'clock games.
I got the 4 o'clockers and Monday night.
There you go.
Bam.
So you go ahead with the 1 o'clock games, as those will be the first ones that everyone will be watching on Sunday.
Sounds good. You ready?
Yep.
First game out of the first. Whoa.
First game
Good start.
out the gate. Gotcha.
Good start for me.
Out the gate. Let's
I'm
go.
on the bad list already. Buffalo at Baltimore.
Okay.
And listen, there was a hard to find anything good for Buffalo here.
It really is bad when you have to search that deep.
Right. Now, I mean, everyone's going to play McCoy, so
Well, yeah.
that's a given thing here.
Yeah, we're not going to name any
Right.
like the obvious stars here because, you're going to play.
Right.
Well, at least we hope so. But yes.
So the good matchup here is Michael Crabtree.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have enough volume there with Baltimore. He'll be fine. He's a really good play. Your bad play, the person you're going to want to stay away from, there's, a bunch of receiving options on Buffalo, but it's Kelvin Benjamin or Zay Jones for me, either one.
We'll just say the wide receivers for Buffalo,
Yeah,
like you originally said.
Peterman and his hot turnover.
The hot turnovers.
It's just going to continue.
They're
Baltimore's going to feast all day. That's the defense I should have put as a good because that's probably what you want.
They're going to destroy that offensive line.
Yeah, and we talked about on the last show for the Thursday Night Primer that, in theory, until Josh Allen is the quarterback or we see some sort of positive play out of the Buffalo offense, the defense that is playing them on a weekly basis pretty much becomes your stream of the week.
Right.
Just saying. So, I don't know. That wide receiver group, I just feel bad. They don't have an offensive line. The wide receivers are, as you would say, hot garbage. The quarterback is already got the oven preheated at 350, just waiting for those turnovers to be put in the oven to bake. So
It's just not. They could lose every game.
they really could, and they would just be the number 1 overall pick. Congrats.
And not take an offensive lineman.
No.
Bosa.
Ooh,
I
there you
see
go. Get the defense better because your offense is horrible.
All right. Now I got to get Buffalo back on my side. So I'll give you one good play, Charles Clay.
There you
I
go.
think he'll be the only shining
Security blanket.
Turd
quick
in that offense.
Yeah.
Well, he's a quick routes.
Right.
Right. That's pretty much all they're going to have.
Listen, Peterman's going to have to rely on someone, and
Yeah.
normally the tight ends where they go, so I think that's Charles Clay.
Comfort blanket.
Obviously you're going to play McCoy if you got him, but I think he'll be a good one for this one too.
But, the beast in this game is going to be Alex Collins.
Oh, yeah.
Buffalo was the worst against the run. They gave up the most points against fantasy running backs.
And they didn't really
Give me
improve that
Collins.
defense a whole lot. So,
I love Alex Collins this week.
yeah, most definitely. So, Thacker, please play him. Don't tinker your roster and sit him out on the bench, please.
He can trade him to me.
Oh, he's going to tinker.
He always does. All right, what's the next game we got?
Cincinnati at Indianapolis.
Ooh, this one's going to hit home. I'm interested to see what the love for Cincinnati
Close
give out
to
of
the
this
heart
game.
here.
See, this was the exact opposite from the first game. I could find value all over the field in these matchups.
Yeah.
But my good play is Doyle and Ebron. I think you can play them both.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I like Ebron a lot.
Yeah, Bengals were terrible against the tight ends, so I mean, I would definitely play both. I think they're both going to be on the field. I mean, Ebron's were lining up as the wide receiver 2 almost. I mean, I know it's a 2 tight end set, but he's really
Right.
their second option, that wide receiver.
Yeah.
So my bad is not because he's got a good matchup. It's just because I don't have trust in him, and that's Eifert.
Yeah.
Every week, the last couple of years, he looks like this should be the week he's going to come back. This is a great matchup.
He's gonna make it
show
through the
up.
game.
Right. I just can't start him.
No.
I can't put him in my lineup. So until he stays healthy for a couple games, to me, Eifert's a bad play.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's the exception to the injury rule, like with Jordan Reed and stuff like that. He's one that I feel like we're not too worried about injury-wise making it through a game as much as Eifert. It just seems like anything and everything, just he's injured. He doesn't make it through games, or he makes it through the game and he does nothing. And then he is definitely a wait and see and hope that he makes it through the first 2-3 games healthy, and then you can maybe pick him up off of waivers. But
Yep.
all right, what is the other game you got here?
So they ugly, and I don't know, I might get some flack for this, but I think Andy Dalton is a great stream play this week.
Yeah, I
He,
mean,
he
the
was
Colts
better.
defense is awful,
yeah,
so
and he was better on the road by almost 4.5 points.
yeah,
From home, he's on the road. This is great. I love Jordan Wilkins this week. Again, Cincinnati struggled to stop the run. Wilkins is going to be the starting back now for the Colts. I think he's a stream play.
yeah. I agree. I think with no Marlon Mack, I think that's a big thing. Jordan Wilkins has already been named the starter, so why not? I mean, they got to run the ball, so
Yeah.
Luck can't throw the ball every down, obviously.
Yep. And I threw in one more little thing. DFS players out there, John Ross. You're going to want to know that name. I think he's a great play this week. He's downfield. Look, Colts look terrible in the preseason on defense. Their secondary is garbage. I think he could be a big play this week.
Yeah, I mean, and DFS definitely.
He's going to be cheap. Yeah, that's what I meant. That's why I just threw him for a
I agree.
DFS play.
So, all right. And then what about the next game you got?
Houston at New England.
Ooh, this
I
could be
like
an
it.
interesting
I like
one.
this game.
I do too. There's points all over the field here for fantasy. Again, my good is Burkhead. I think he'll be the starting back there. He's, to me, the easiest play for New England at the moment.
He's a
Right.
safe, comfortable play.
Right. The guy I don't like Ryan Griffin.
Yeah.
New England was like, what are they? I have him as the 11th best against the tight end.
Yeah.
Ryan Griffin's just not going to be a good play this week. I'd avoid him at all costs.
He's the one weak point in that offense for Houston, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
There's too many mouths to feed with Fuller, Hopkins,
And
Lamar
Miller,
Miller,
especially
so-
with Foreman being on the PUP list now.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be heavy doses of Lamar Miller.
Right, and I wanted to put Miller in as a good play, but I just think now with Foreman on the pup, he's a great play every week.
I
Or
think-
at least you can't, hard to take him out of your lineup.
right. I think people are finally realizing this late towards the end of the draft time frame, when the last weekend of the drafts, and now going into week 1, I think people are realizing that now that Foreman is officially on the pup. Oh wow, Lamar Miller is a solid play, and I think that people that got him in the 7th, 8th rounds early on in drafts, because there was no certainty if they wanted him on the team, and is Foreman out or is he in? They brought in Alfred Blue, so I mean there was a lot of question marks. But as the offseason progressed, you could see Miller was the guy that they were going to continue to push forward to be the first running back. So why not?
And then my uglier stream plays are James White and Will Fuller.
I like James White a lot.
I do too. I think Fuller's kind of even more safe than I really give him credit for here, but I don't know how everyone drafted, so that's why I was throwing Will Fuller in there.
Yeah, I mean, James White, I mean, we have no idea about Sony Michel, if he's for sure going to play and how much he's going to play.
Right.
And we all know that James White, if given the opportunity, can exceed the expectations for his weekly value. So
Right. I'll tell you what, and from looking this up, I didn't realize how bad Houston's defense really was. I mean, they ranked 27th against the wide receiver, 31st against quarterbacks, and 29th against the tight end. I mean, that's not good.
their strength is the front line.
Well, yeah, Clowney and
Right.
Watt were hurt last year. They bring in Honey Badger this year to help, safety, but I don't know. We'll see.
Jonathan Joseph's still their main corner. I'm just saying there's key parts, but overall their defense is
Just gotta stay
outside.
healthy.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Their front line's solid, but outside that, it's still question marks. So,
All
what
right,
do you got?
Moving on, we got Jacksonville at the Giants.
Ooh, this could be a good one.
Tons of star power in this one.
Right, but there's a really good defense in Jacksonville, so I'm heavy on them this week.
Yeah.
So my good play is Austin Seferian-Jenkins.
Okay.
Giants were the worst against the tight end. I think he's going to be a sneaky good play here.
And that defense hasn't shown much in the preseason, even.
So just to piggyback off that, my ugly but good play is I think Bortles is a great stream this week.
you got a Giants defense that's not been impressive this preseason, nor were they towards the whole pretty much third quarter of the last year. So, and it's the same players. So,
Right.
if they can get it together, maybe. But I need to see a couple games where that defense is firing on all cylinders for the Giants before I put a whole lot of faith in them. So,
Right. And then staying with that, Keelan Cole, I think, is going to emerge as the number one there. I really like him this week, too, against the Giants.
yeah, I mean,
Jacksonville's a 3-point favorite at the Giants. That's saying something here.
Yeah.
So, and then my bad play is Evan Ingram and Eli Manning.
yeah.
Jacksonville was number one against the tight ends.
They were number one a lot. In
Right.
A lot of stuff last year.
So, to me,
their defense was nasty when you look them up.
yeah, I think that like guys like OBJ is fine. Obviously, you're not going to bench him against Jalen Ramsey, but the defense as a whole is going to be a good defense, and I guarantee they'll probably have at least one or two turnovers against Eli Manning, whether that's a sack, strip, fumble, or an interception. They're going to get after him, and they're going to put pressure, even though the offensive line has been revamped and they've tried to solidify the left side for Eli Manning. I still think that until we see it in game action against a top defense like Jacksonville, I think it's the same concept as their defense. I'm not putting a whole lot into the offensive line yet, but
I think they're leaps and bounds better than what they. I mean, you get Nate Solder
Well, yeah.
and Will Hernandez. That's not bad.
no, I think, like I said, the left side I'm fine with. It's the whole right side that I'm now concerned about because I think Flowers is still over there.
Yeah, he's trash.
He's picking up daisies. Anyways,
The thing about this game is the Giants' star players might struggle because they're playing a good defense. Watch that with your fantasy owners. They might be willing to sell these guys at a cheaper rate than you could get. Go after OBJ if he has a down game. Go after Barkley if he struggles. Ingram. I mean, any of these guys. Ingram's a little bit of a stretch because of injuries, but still, if you can get him on the cheap.
Yeah, I don't think OBJ. I mean, OBJ is going to pretty much be. Who's the corner? Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. So
Right.
We'll see. It'll be interesting week one. That's a good matchup.
And they have a lot of fantasy talent. It's a really tough matchup right out of the gate. Too.
right. Game one.
Right.
Game ones are already hard enough.
Right.
Especially for a rookie like Saquon Barkley. That's going to be an interesting against that defense front. That's going to be interesting.
Now, if he turns it on though and like shows out,
I mean, it's kind of like the Watson situation last year
That's
where
legitness.
So,
He's going to get a ton of volume. He could.
all right. And then what's the final game you have for the week?
Pittsburgh at Cleveland.
Ooh, this could be a good one.
Yep. My good for this week is Carlos Hyde.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh was not good against the defense. They ranked 24th or against the run. I think Hyde's a great pick. I think with Chubb now not showing as much, he's going to take away the carries. I think Hyde's a solid option this week.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Carlos Hyde had nothing but positive preseason. Every time he touched the ball, he was successful. He was falling forward for 3-4 yards. So
He had a
why
way
not?
better preseason than I thought he would. So
His biggest thing is health. As long as he is healthy, he is the number one running back in that offense.
I'll tell you what, though, with Duke Johnson, spelling him at least for the catching back aspect, Hyde could really have a decent year all year.
Yeah, most definitely. So, and then what do you got for the bad?
My bad, and this might rub some people the wrong way. I'm Josh Gordon and Le'Veon Bell.
Hey, I mean, Le'Veon Bell's situation is very much up in the air and question mark. I mean, there's no guarantee that he's playing even. So
Right. We talked about it on the last show that, Bell's numbers last year were bad. It took him a couple weeks to get going. He might not even play at all this week. I think James Conner, which is going to tie into my ugly pick, is who I think the stream option this week is.
yeah,
And then Josh Gordon, with his off-season issues going on, now he's coming in, he's got a hamstring injury. I don't know if he's going to be ready to go full go week one. Heck, he's not even starting.
not Callaway's starting.
Right. So, listen, Gordon's going to be a great play this year. I still think that. I just don't know right away. Not against Pittsburgh, at least.
So I mean, it'll be an interesting because he's probably not playing. Maybe who knows what Hugh Jackson's he's not starting means? Does that mean just he's coming in series 2,
Right?
or is he coming
No.
down? Is he coming in the second play, or is he coming in the first quarter?
Hugh Jackson's hot trash too.
He is. That's what I'm saying.
Hot
You don't know
garbage.
what you're
Well,
getting with Gordon this
true.
week because of he's not starting. Well, what does that mean?
Right.
So I don't know. You'll find out on Sunday. So what the I'm not starting Josh Gordon means. So.
I got one last player, though, for you, and that's Vance McDonald, tight end for Pittsburgh. He's a great stream this week. If you're going to stream tight ends, he's definitely one I'd look at.
Yeah, especially if you're dealing with the late, like you said, the late tight end streamer. You're trying to figure out last minute what you want to do. So, not a bad matchup. Now I've got the middle groups, primarily the 4 o'clock games. Now, first one for me is the 49ers versus the Vikings. Now, that's a solid defense for the Vikings. Jimmy G's first game against the Vikings.
That's tough.
That's a tough one for the first game of the year.
It's not going to go well.
Without Jerick McKinnon as well. So
Is it at Vikings?
yes. So to me, the good for this week is Pierre Garçon. And I had Marquise Goodwin in there initially, but I think that Marquise Goodwin's probably going to be the one that draws Xavier Rhodes in that number one corner most of the game, which then in theory, Pierre Garçon is going to be your guy that's going to move the chains. He's going to get you down the field 5 yards here, 4 yards here, 6 yards here. And that's eventually going to add up in a half point because you're getting reception points. So
Right.
my bad. Anyways, so I just think if nothing else, he is a viable play this week because he's not going to be shadowed by the number one guy on that defense. So the defense across the board is good, but I just think that Garçon has a better opportunity to score than and do well than Marquise Goodwin against Xavier Rhodes. I'm not
Right.
saying that Goodwin couldn't finish higher than him.
Right.
He's just a more risky play. To me, Garçon's a solid play in a half point or full PPR league. So the bad for this one, Jimmy G. I know that everyone's all hyped on him, and he might have a good year. I'm not playing him my first game for fantasy football and his first game against the Minnesota Vikings defense. No, thank you.
That's not a good start.
That's a punt. Just let it go. I hope you drafted somebody else to play just week one only, maybe even, but not a good matchup for a young quarterback that's getting to his first official real start, in my opinion. So, and then the ugly, Matt Breida. I just, in a half point or full PPR, it's not pretty, but he is the RB1 per Shanahan in that offense right now. Now, how long will he be the RB1? Will he make it through the game being the RB1? We don't know. But if you're looking for a flex play on a Sunday, he's not a bad candidate if you're dealing with injuries or you had Jerick McKinnon or whatever the case may be. To see a wait and see what you get out of him. He might get you 4 points. He may get you 10 points. You don't know. That's the thing. His ceiling is high. His floor is really low. There's this really big gap of what he could do, and that's why he's the ugly. It's a streamable play, but it's not probably the prettiest play for your roster. So.
Right.
Now, the Bucks versus the Saints. This one is, I have a feeling, could potentially get out of hand early from the Saints offense. The good in this one, I got Deshaun Jackson. I just think because the Bucks are going to be playing from behind, they're going to have to eventually throw the ball down the field. And
Fitz hates throwing to the tight end. So.
yes, so why not? And I think Mike Evans is going to be covered by Marshawn Lattimore, so it could be an interesting play for Deshaun Jackson. So I'm banking that Deshaun Jackson probably has like maybe 5 receptions, probably 40 yards, and maybe a touchdown. And the touchdown might be a 30-yard touchdown, honestly. That's my thing. So
Gotcha.
the bad, Peyton Barber. Offensive line is awful. They're playing a good defense. I can't play Peyton Barber. Even though he's the solid RB1 for the Bucks offense, I can't play him this week. There's no way. There's no way I could put him on my roster, even as a flex play. I'm sorry. In your flex play, you want somebody who's got potential upside, and I just don't see any upside in this offense going forward.
Solid Barber. No.
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 And
There's
then
a lot of holes in that ship. It's going down.
Oh, yeah. And they're saying when Winston comes back, he might not even be the starter.
Yeah.
what is that?
It's between the ears, man. Between the ears.
Dirk Cutter. Anyways, and then the ugly, it's not pretty, but serviceable tight end as well. Streaming Ben Watson. I like Ben
Yeah.
It's
Watson.
a bad defense that didn't really do well against the tight end last year. They're probably going to be gassed because they're going to be on the field a lot because, let's be honest, the Bucks are probably going to go 3 and out quite a bit, or they're going to be throwing turnovers. Who knows? I'm just saying. I just think that the Bucks defense is going to be on the field a lot, and Ben Watson has shown with Drew Brees that he can be a viable streaming tight end on a weekly basis. So
Well, they brought in Jason Pierre-Paul in hopes to blow it up, but I don't know if it'll happen.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see. We'll have to watch and see. Caught that one. All right. Now the Dolphins versus the Titans.
Finger approval.
Yes. Jeez.
He's always in his 3-point stance.
Yes. Titans versus the Dolphins. The good for me in this one is Corey Davis, and it's just because the Dolphins' defense is awful, and he seems to be the wide receiver 1, even though it's not like an awesome game probably for fantasy purposes. I just think that he's going to be targeted a ton in this game, and he's probably going to score a touchdown or two. So
I like Corey Davis this year.
I like him as well, but I'm just saying in this game specifically, that Dolphins defense is awful. So why not? The bad, shouldn't be surprised. It's one, Ryan Tannehill. Do not play him. I mean, if he blows up, you can at me on Twitter. Congrats. He had a great game. But I'm just saying, I just don't see this Dolphins offense making any noise. Just saying, I think they're going to be playing from behind a lot, which I think is going to make Tannehill have to throw the ball a lot more and throw it into uncomfortable windows that he's probably not happy to throw the ball. So
I like Amendola in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about putting him as the ugly stream, but I put Kenny Stills just because he's the one I keep hearing as the wide receiver one in this offense. So, but honestly, any one of the wide receivers, Amendola, Stills, Wilson, could be a viable stream in this game because they're going to be behind. They're going to be throwing the ball, and if nothing else, they might catch the defense sleeping on one play for a 40-yard touchdown. You don't know.
Drake would be a good flex play in this one.
Right, yeah.
Yes. But they've got an or. It's the or Gore. Or Gore.
I know.
Why? Drake or Gore? Do you not know who you want to play? I mean, I understand you're playing maybe mind games. Your team sucks. You don't need to be playing mind games. You need to just put a player
You
on
heard it here, folks. The team sucks.
You just need to put
They
your
all
running back in the
suck.
spot that he's supposed to be and just say, here, Frank Gore is our running back. Or, hey, Drake's our running back. Whatever you want
I
to
just
do.
don't think they want to tip their hand, but I think Drake's going to
Tip the hand of what?
I know.
Their team is
I know.
They're all doing it, though. I mean,
Right. Yeah, everybody's doing it.
whatever.
Samson, Breida or Morris.
yeah.
Right,
Is
whatever.
Wentz going to play or not?
Right.
Oh, man. So I'm just
Or-
saying, I honestly think any one of the wide receivers for Miami could be a viable flex this week. It might not be the prettiest play in your roster, but to me, why not? Because they're going to be throwing the ball a ton. They're going to be playing from behind. So
Yeah.
opportunity, if nothing else. So then the Chiefs versus the Chargers. The good in this one, I've got Antonio Gates or Tyrell Williams, and it depends on Antonio Gates' availability. If Antonio Gates is playing this week, I would take him over Tyrell Williams, and that's just because Tyrell Williams has been dealing with injuries this offseason. So Antonio Gates to me is the good play, and that's just because him and Rivers have this connection, and I have a feeling that they're going to have at least one touchdown this week. Why not? So it happens. So the bad, Pat Mahomes, I just cannot see playing him against this Chargers defense. The defensive front's going to be after him. That offensive line is awful.
It'll be tough for a rookie quarterback.
I just think you're going to have, and we've seen what happens when he has pressure in his face, that he's going to force throws. He's going to make a bad decision, and I just think he's going to make a couple of them that are going to be crucial enough that's going to knock them out of the game pretty early. So, however, I do have a ugly stream for the week, and that is Sammy Watkins because why not at this point? That offense is going to be throwing the ball. They're going to be playing from behind. Tyreek Hill is probably going to draw the number one corner. I'm not saying that Tyreek Hill is going to be a bad play this week. I'm just saying for a guy that if you don't have Tyreek Hill and you want a potential upside, Sammy Watkins, if he's playing, has that upside because Mahomes is going to be throwing the ball a ton. He's going to be throwing the ball down the field, so why not? So, and the final game for me, Cowboys versus the Panthers. So, a lot of issues on the offense and defenses for both these teams. It's question marks, but ultimately, for me, the good this week is Devin Funchess, and that's just because I just think that he seemed to have a great preseason. They seem to favor him. I'm not saying that DJ Moore can't have a good week. I'm just saying Devin Funchess probably is the more solid play of the wide receiver group for this week.
They seem to be going to Funches more anyways.
Right. So I think he's a solid play this week. The bad for me is Allen Hurns, and that's just because I'm not 100% sold on the Dallas passing game this week, and I've not seen a whole lot out of Allen Hurns this whole preseason. I've not seen that he is favored by Dak in any form. To me, the guy that I put as the ugly stream is Michael Gallup because he seems to be the one when they're running with the ones that he is favored in this game, or he's been favored by Dak to be thrown to. They got Jeff or Geef or whatever you want to call him.
Jeff Swain.
Swain as their tight end, so no thank you.
No Rico Gathers.
No,
So disappointed.
He made the 53-man roster and then he got busted, so whatever. Bad choice. But yeah, I just think Michael Gallup is the better of the receivers in this game, and it's only because, I mean, it may change by next week. We don't know. I honestly think for the first couple weeks, either Hurns or Gallup could potentially be the number one wide receiver by the end of the game. It's going to be what how Dak moves the ball down the field, or I should say how Ezekiel Elliott moves that offense down the field. So, all right, we have the 4 o'clock, the Sunday night, and the Monday night game.
Yep.
So let's roll.
First one is the Seahawks at the Broncos.
Okay.
The good in this one, I got Royce Freeman.
Yeah.
He was named as the starter.
Yep.
Case Keenum's in there, new offense. I like Royce Freeman a lot in this one. And Seattle's not the Seattle of old. So I look for that to be – and it's at Denver.
Yep. I'm just glad Royce Freeman got the starting job back.
Well,
Right.
He lost it for a day. And
again, that's the or. Is
Right.
it Booker or Freeman?
Right.
Freeman's we said that from the get-go. He should have been the starter. So, but I think that's your good play for this week.
Oh, yeah.
Your bad play, don't play him at all. Tight end Jake Butt.
Yeah.
Now, look, he came in when he got drafted. He was supposed to be awesome.
He
right?
was. He was good at the University of Michigan.
Well, let me give you his preseason stats for this preseason. You ready? In 4 games, 1 catch, 5 yards.
that's solid.
That's better than Reggie Bush.
Hey.
I'll just leave that alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Seattle is ranked 3rd best against tight ends, so that's another,
Red flag.
yeah.
Yeah.
So stay away from him. And my ugly stream is wide receiver Brandon Marshall. I get it; he's no longer a number one
dominant
option,
guy.
right? But Doug Baldwin's banged up. Tyler Lockett, we don't know what we're going to get with him, and Brandon Marshall could be a red zone steal.
Right.
Yep.
So if you need a tight end to stream or looking for that late round guy that you can get upside, Brandon Marshall's your guy for this week.
I mean, Brandon Marshall could potentially slide into the Jimmy Graham role from last year.
Exactly.
Totally
not?
touchdown dependent, but in an offense like that, you're gonna need something.
I'm just saying, if you can get 5 to 6 touchdowns out of Brandon Marshall this year,
Oh, that'd be great.
right? Why not? I mean, that's pretty much what you were looking at with Jimmy Graham in that offense, 5 to 8.
And Denver doesn't have Aqib Talib anymore floating around back here. So
Just saying,
big target.
could happen.
Denver could have a field day on offense, though.
True.
Yeah. Hey, that Seattle defense is not.
No,
I mean, Bennett left.
it's bad.
Yeah.
But when they go 3 wide, man, they are nasty.
Oh yeah.
Thomas
You got
Sanders
Thomas.
and Sutton.
Hey, I like Sanders this year a
Yeah.
lot.
I do too.
I've been watching the preseason. Case favors him, Case
Yeah.
Keenum favors him a
Like
lot.
he did Thielen.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
He's the new Thielen in Denver.
The new
There you
Thielen
go.
is Sanders. We got a
Thielen-
feeling about him. But the next game is my beloved Redskins at the Cardinals.
Ooh.
My good for this week is Jamison Crowder.
Yeah.
I don't know. New offense for Alex Smith. Crowder is your most dependable. I wanted to put Jordan Reed here,
Yeah.
but I'm going to go like you said on Eifert. I mean,
Wait a week or two.
He has to show me he can stay
Right.
healthy. Everything that I've read said he's doing well, but Crowder is there every game.
Right.
And you're going to have Patrick Peterson lined up on Josh Dotson most likely.
Why
So that's
not?
going to leave Crowder running all over the field in the slot.
Why not?
My bad for this game is Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of hype on him coming in, but he's not even the number 2 receiver right now.
Right.
yeah, Chad Williams.
Chad
Chad
Williams,
Williams is the number 2 guy right now. And Washington last year was second best against wide receivers,
I
even
agree.
with garbage Breland
I think
in
Kirk's
there.
problem is he's a slot receiver. They're trying to play him on the outside, but until Fitz leaves, I mean, he's gonna have struggle to get on the field.
Well,
Right.
and like you said, Fitz and David Johnson are going to get the majority of the targets anyway from
Right.
Bradford. Sleeper pick this week. I know it's not popular. Adrian Peterson.
I was wondering if you were gonna go there.
It's not a bad play.
No.
Him or Thompson.
Yeah.
But Adrian Peterson, because I mean, he had 11 his last preseason game or the third one. He had 11 carries for 56 yards.
I mean, they fed him purposely.
Right.
And Gruden said they're going to make it a point to feed him. So
They brought him in to jump Rob Kelly, so
Well, I'll tell you what, if AP's viable, Chris Thompson's going to have a separate role like Coleman has in this offense, where
Yeah.
you might have 2 running backs that both can play.
yeah.
it just depends. Like if Washington plays a high-powered offense and they're more than likely going to be playing from behind, Chris Thompson's your guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's more valuable in the passing game.
But I mean, I'm not impressed by the Arizona Cardinals defense this.
No, their defense has gone downhill. Over the last couple of
right.
years too.
So why not? You got a guy. I mean, even though Adrian Peterson, to me, Adrian Peterson is the same as like Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald is obviously the better play because he's going to be fed. But I'm just saying, if Adrian Peterson could be fed the ball on a continual basis and they create some sort of gap, I'm not saying that they need to part the Red Sea, but I'm just saying in general, they just need to give him a little bit of room to move. And he still has the speed. He's still got the power. You could see it when he was running in that third preseason game. He's still there. And this guy's 30-plus years old. I mean, that's just like unheard of in a running back.
I'm not saying he's going to be Pro Bowl guy. But
No.
for this week, he's a good play.
Okay, let me ask you,
Stream
over or under, and like we'll just say half PPR, Over under 7 fantasy points.
Over.
Okay.
That's 70 yards. I mean,
Or a touchdown in 10.
right.
So
He's over that.
Okay.
I think he'll get you between 12 to 15.
I was going to say, he has the upside to do that. I was going to put him somewhere in that 8 to 10 comfortably.
That's where I was going to put
But
him
I
at,
think
too.
he could be a 2-touchdown guy and then 40 yards rushing. So I'm just saying, it's definitely there. It's just how the Washington offense moves the ball.
Right.
Like you said, if the Washington offense is moving and they're doing what they need to, and the defense for Washington holds Arizona a couple times from scoring, then I think that AP's value and worth throughout the game goes up every time they stop them and make Arizona go 3 and out.
Right.
So
AP's interesting if he catches anything.
Well,
If they
he-
throw to him at all, I mean, now he becomes even more valuable.
Well, he was
asset.
catching. He caught 2 passes in that third preseason
Right,
game.
that's what I mean. The way they were using him that game makes me. That's why I like this pick here.
yeah,
And he was signed 2 days before that.
yeah.
So, I don't know. Next game, Chicago Bears at Green Bay Packers. This is your Sunday night game, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh, the new Khalil Mack edition.
Oh, yeah, it is because there's 2 Monday nighters.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Sunday night. So my good for this one is tight end Trey Burton for the Chicago Bears.
You know what?
You're gonna be saying that name all year.
No Shaheen now, right?
Right. To me, he's the number 1 passing option. I mean, I know they got Allen Robinson and a couple other guys, but he's going to be the guy. Trubisky didn't throw that much last year as it is. So to have a guy like Trey Burton, who's basically a bigger wide receiver and a
Right.
security blanket, he's going to get all the targets. But it's not a good matchup. Green Bay was second best against tight ends last year.
True.
But the bad for this one is running back Jamal Williams for Green Bay. You don't want to play him, but with Aaron Jones being suspended and Ty Montgomery is still kind of like banged up a little
Right.
bit,
Right.
he's going to get the ball.
Yeah.
But Green Bay is a pass-heavy offense, so I look for Graham and Devontae Adams to steal most of the points. But I do like Jamal Williams being the lead back this week.
If nothing else, it's just volume and opportunity. He's the guy. So for the first couple games, it sounds like. So why not?
Right, and then Randall Cobb is the guy that I had him backwards. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. I knew what
I
you
knew
were
we were
going.
headed with it.
Bad is Randall Cobb.
Yes.
He's behind Adams, Graham. He's injury prone. He's the third wide receiver, and Chicago's 11th best against wide receivers.
Well, up to a few days ago, they're trying to get rid of him.
Right, he was on the trade block.
Yeah. That tells you
So-
how much they care about his value.
Also,
or
another
worth.
sneaky
Yeah.
sleeper in this one's Tariq Cohen. I like him too.
He is definitely a boom or bust guy in this game. He could potentially get you 60 yards and a touchdown, or he could be like 30 yards and
Well,
that's
especially if they play him, because they're saying Howard's going to be on the field all 3 downs.
Yep.
So, but they said they want Cohen to be on the field too with Howard.
it. It could be
So I
interesting.
don't know how that's going to work out.
This could be interesting.
I like it. I think Cohen's going to be a surprise this year.
yeah.
First Monday night game, Jets at Lions.
Ooh.
A lot of people aren't going to like this, but my good is Bilal Powell.
Bilal Powell.
Powell.
He's a receiving running back. I think they're going to be down, so they're going to be throwing a lot, which favors him. I think Crowell's a little bit banged up right now, and Detroit's 28th against running backs.
I agree. I think that Bilal Powell is going to be. I think it's kind of like the Cleveland last year, where Crowell was early on in the game, and as the game slipped out of the hands of the offense, they started bringing in Duke Johnson more and more and more as the game got going.
Yep.
So
And Palau proved last year that he can play.
yeah,
So
they got nobody else now that they put McGuire down for the IR. So
Put him down, huh?
put him
my
down for the
bad.
IR.
My bad for this week is quarterback Sam Darnold.
Oh,
I think if we let him do the Jets game every week, it'd be Sam Darnold.
Well, I mean,
Might.
look, their wide receiving options are trash. The
Right, I
tight
agree,
end,
I agree.
The tight end option is trash. I think check down. It's going to be check down for Sam Darnold.
right.
Detroit's 20th against quarterbacks, but I mean, Bilal Powell's going to be the guy on this offense for this game at least.
Right.
My ugly, LeGarrette Blount. I know he's going to be TD dependent. There's a committee there with Abdullah, Johnson, and Riddick. New York Jets are 8th against running backs, but I like Blount, especially in the red zone.
Well, and if the game it's late in the game and Detroit's up by a good
Right,
couple
they're just going
touchdowns,
to run.
run the ball, and we know LeGarrette Blount has no problem running through people through to the goal line. So
Yeah, that Detroit backfield is just a mess, though.
it is. I think Blount.
They don't know what they want to do.
I think Blunt's
Oh, I
going to be
know.
used early to start the game off, and then I think they're going to use him late to kind of be like the nail in the coffin to kind of just run the clock out, grind.
That's why I
grind.
said he's definitely going to be TD dependent.
I'd
For
look,
real.
for that backfield. I just look for the guy who's going to have the most touches in the red zone. I think that's going to be the most value out of those backs.
So,
Which to me, I think Blunt would be.
Right,
Unless
that-
one of
I
those-
agree.
Unless Johnson just starts blowing the doors off.
I think
Yeah.
Johnson's going to be a good play, but it's going to be later in the year. I mean, the coach even came out, the offensive coordinator even came out and said it's going to be a play. His play will dictate how much he actually gets in
Exactly.
the game. So
Yep.
Why not? I like the LeGarrette Blount play on this one.
And
Monday
the,
night.
And the late night cap for us East Coasters here is Rams at Raiders. My good for this one's Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
He looked good in the preseason, and John Gruden said that he wants to go old school, so he's going to pound that rock, and I like Marshawn on that one.
I do too.
Nobody else is competing.
No, he's the lead back, and Rams were 30th against running backs last year. Now I know they beefed up the D line.
Right, the front line specifically, yeah.
They paid a couple guys, one in particular.
But, I mean, I don't know. I like it. My bad for this one is Jordy Nelson.
Yeah. I'm
Not a fan of Jordy.
It's like, a few shows. Well, now it's been probably a month ago now on this
Right.
show, but he's name only.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
In
it.
Green Bay, he was great, but
Loss of speed. He's going to be TD dependent. He made his living in Green Bay in the red zone.
Rodgers is not throwing you the ball anymore.
No, it's Derek Carr.
Right.
Yeah.
With the check engine light on, maybe.
And we seen how well that worked out last year.
Right.
But I do like Jared Goff as my ugly.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to that. The defense now is a suspect there
Right.
in the
yeah.
Raiders.
Yeah, he was loving the Khalil Mack trade, week
Right.
one. He was like, yeah, but
Well, thank
it's
you.
high-octane offense. The loss of Mack hurts, and there's lots of weapons there for Goff.
Yeah.
I think Rams' offensive players are the ones you're going to want to play this week. I think the Raiders, their clubhouse is going to be divided right now.
Oh, yeah.
The Mac thing did not go over well with everyone until they see the big picture. Their defense just could be a mess.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So I agree with you. I think that's a good play. Jared Goff as a streaming quarterback
Yeah,
this
if you-
week is not a problem.
Yeah, if you're one of those guys that stream quarterbacks, I mean, I like Goff this week.
This is in reference to like the Jimmy G and Jared Goff. To me, Jimmy G, if you drafted him and Jared Goff, this is the week that you play Jared Goff. This is the week that you sit Jimmy G.
Yep.
You do not play him against
Plus,
that
it's a
Vikings
Monday
defense.
night game. I like to play Monday or Sunday night game guys.
That's funny. I was just going to ask the same question because you pitched it the last show. What do
Right.
you do with your Thursday players? I was going to say, do you wait on your Monday night guys? I like to wait on them too.
I look at that when I set my roster up, and like you said, if I didn't have a quarterback or you stream them, and Jared Goff sitting there, and it's the last game of the week, yes,
Right.
play it.
Monday night guys, they always seem to. It's
prime time.
It's prime time. They're all about playing big, and they're playing out. I mean, some guys play out of their mind. They play their best games on Monday night. So
And plus, if you're down by like 15, 18, and you got a quarterback playing, you like that.
I'm just saying, overall, I like, and I think that we're all agreeing on the playing the guys on Monday night. I think the reason why we like that is because if you're in, like you said, the 15 to 18 range, and you have a potential star player that's still got to play Monday night, or a streaming player that could potentially has so much upside value, it's always good to make your opponent sweat
Yep.
on Monday night because it's the last. Specifically, this is literally the last game of the night, and the two games, the doubleheader. So if you've got a guy that you're playing against and he's up by 14, 15 points, and you got Jared Goff, he's going to sweat.
Yeah,
that
I don't
game.
like to be the sweating guy.
Yeah,
okay?
right.
I'm just saying.
I hate that feeling.
Listen, when all my guys are at the 1 o'clock game and I'm sitting there and I have a good score, but I still never feel safe.
You
And I know there's
'cause
players to be
anything
playing.
can happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree. I if I can get in as many guys that can be potentially good on Monday night to play, I have no problem. I mean, defenses. This week specifically, I picked up the Detroit Lions defense because they're playing the Jets offense, and it's a Monday night game.
Not a bad pickup.
Why not?
There you go.
So I'm just saying, Darnold's going to be good for at least one or two turnovers. So, all right. Anything else before we get into the end of the show?
Nope. Just excited. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Week 1 is finally upon us, and it's gonna. I mean, I'm just glad that fantasy football is officially in full. I don't want to say full bloom, but full force now. So
I'm just excited to set a lineup now.
right. So
Start talking a lot of crap.
right. The trash talk has begun.
Trash
so
talk and ridiculous trade offers
Yeah.
are coming.
They are upon us. So
Our league of record. There's only like 90 transactions and 9,000 trades offered.
it does start. as
Becomes
soon
like
as
a
the draft is
full-time
over.
job.
Right. So, all right. We just want to tell you guys thanks again for tuning in to today's show via the podcast as well as on YouTube. Please check out the site, thehateful8ff.com, where you can find out your weekly in-season articles. That's the start sits, your waiver wire pickups, as well as your trade guys for and trade guys away. So, make sure you also check out the online store as well to get your apparel. Follow our personal accounts at jpickleTH8FF, at jBlackburnTH8FF, and at FTrimTH8FF. Don't forget to follow the show and also join the Average Donation. Support the show via our Patreon tab on the site where you can get your in-season weekly help. I mean, you hear what we're talking about. I mean, we're just kind of scratching the surface. When you sign up to get the weekly in-season help, it's like in-depth. We pretty well help you set your roster person by person. So, I mean, that's something you can't get in most places. And I just know that we pride ourselves on helping you win. So,
If you want to be a bad fantasy player, don't go to our site.
Right.
Don't look up our start.
Hey, we did well with it last year. We helped guy win his championship.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, and we had of the guys that signed up to help last year, they all made their fantasy championships. The one guy I think lost by like 3 points, and it was like a fluke player that you just can't predict. But overall, I mean, I'm just saying, on a weekly basis, you're getting in-depth help that you're just not getting anywhere else. So
Do it.
Do it. All right. Thanks again, guys. Good luck this weekend. So
Good luck.
with week 1 upon us,
I wish you no luck, Pickle. I play you week 1.
Oh,
I'm going to be a gentleman and a
Nope.
scholar and tell you good luck to you. I hope you lose. So,
I
all
hope
right.
we both lose.
I hope you lose. So,
I'm not.
no, I'm not either. But
I play Brooks.
Whoa.
this is true.
Yeah, that's a guaranteed win.
That's the taco of the league. All right. We'll tell you guys. And we just think you guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Deuces.
Bye.
There ain't no one like these three. You know you just heard Pickle, Blackburn, and Trimboli. Get the goods talking about nothing but fantasy football. Yeah, it's your year to dominate and to wear that ring. Prepare for the draft and dial in on your craft. Quarterback, the first round is a good choice, you ask? This guy's got first round pick, a favorite? Not so fast. He failed to tune into Hateful Eight. He's a chump in his